Hey, Celtics Nation. We're back with an exclusive video and the latest updates on our beloved Boston Celtics. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. This way, you'll always stay up to date and never miss out on any exclusive news. There's a storm brewing in Boston, and it's not about the usual ups and downs on the court. Joe Mazzulla, the head coach of the Boston Celtics, has dropped a bombshell that has sent shockwaves through the NBA community. During a recent press interaction, Mazzulla hinted that there's a player within the Celtics roster who is, in his words, contaminating the team. The word alone is enough to make any fan sit up straight, because in professional sports, chemistry is everything, and whispers about internal discord can spiral out of control faster than a fast break. No names were mentioned, and that's precisely what keeps the rumor mill spinning. Inside the locker room, sources suggest there's tension bubbling beneath the surface, a feeling that not everyone is fully committed to the same goals. This revelation has stirred a mix of shock, curiosity, and anxiety among fans and analysts alike, who are now scrambling to decipher which personality could possibly be at the center of this unsettling narrative. The phrase contaminating the team is vague enough to be terrifying, implying influence, negativity, or perhaps an attitude problem that's affecting the overall morale. The Celtics, a franchise historically built on teamwork and resilience, are now under an intense microscope, with every gesture, every interview, and every sideline comment being analyzed for hidden meaning. The rumor spreads quickly in professional sports, and in Boston, the grapevine moves faster than the city's subways. Observers are dissecting recent games, practices, and even social media posts to figure out if the signs were there all along. Some suggest it could be a veteran whose influence has shifted from constructive to toxic, while others suspect a younger player struggling with the pressures of the league. Mazzulla's comment has ignited a wave of speculation, and the media is circling like hawks, ready to amplify any subtle hint into a headline. Meanwhile, the players themselves are caught in a delicate balance, trying to maintain focus while the public scrutiny inches ever closer to the locker room's private conversations. A subtle eye roll, a delayed pass, a tense exchange on the bench. Suddenly, nothing is too small to become fodder for rumor. And yet, within this chaos, there's also an undeniable tension about the stakes. The Celtics are chasing championship dreams, and any disruption could be catastrophic if not addressed swiftly. As fans debate online and sports analysts dissect Mazzulla's phrasing, a single question dominates every conversation. Who is destabilizing one of the league's most storied franchises, and what does it mean for their playoff aspirations? While some insiders caution against overreaction, the timing of Mazzulla's statement adds fuel to the fire. The Celtics have had a season full of ups and downs, and whispers of internal conflict now threaten to overshadow any victories on the court. The term contaminating carries weight beyond mere performance. It suggests that this player's impact may extend to team cohesion, communication, and even the locker room atmosphere. Coaches are notoriously careful with their words, so when a public declaration like this emerges, it rarely happens without significant internal frustration. The story spreads quickly among rival teams as well, who now view the Celtics not just as opponents, but as a squad grappling with internal instability. Analysts speculate on whether this is a temporary flare-up of locker room tension or a symptom of deeper issues that could linger for weeks or even months. Fans, of course, are both intrigued and anxious, dissecting every press clip, every interview, and every practice session, hoping to catch the faintest hint of who might be at the center of this controversy. Social media amplifies the effect exponentially, with every theory debated passionately, from star players supposedly asserting dominance to underperforming rookies allegedly bringing negative energy. In essence, what Mazzulla has hinted at has turned the Celtics season into a suspenseful drama, where every action is under scrutiny and every player is suddenly a potential suspect. The locker room environment is often described as a microcosm of society, where personalities clash, hierarchies form, and tensions simmer quietly until someone publicly acknowledges them. Mazzulla's comment has done precisely that, forcing the hidden dynamics into the spotlight. Conversations among fans speculate about whether this could lead to trades, benching decisions, or even a shift in leadership within the team. Rival fans are reveling in the drama, eagerly discussing which player's attitude or behavior could be sowing discontent among the Celtics roster. The uncertainty alone is enough to create narratives where facts blur with speculation and assumptions become inside information. Even commentators who usually maintain objectivity find themselves getting drawn into the swirl of gossip, weighing possibilities and dissecting subtle signs in interviews or post-game footage. Meanwhile, the players themselves are under immense pressure, balancing professionalism with personal reputations, knowing that any misstep could escalate the rumors into something irreversible. The Celtics organization faces a delicate challenge: contain the disruption internally while maintaining public confidence and competitive momentum. The tension is palpable, and every game is now not just a contest of skill, but also a theater of psychological endurance, where focus and discipline are tested against the backdrop of uncertainty. Adding to the intrigue, some believe that Mazzulla's choice of words, contaminating, may hint at a deeper frustration with leadership dynamics or even with the overall culture he is trying to instill. Coaches rarely use such stark language lightly, and this phrasing could reflect repeated issues that have finally reached a breaking point. Rumors swirl about secret conversations, strategic disagreements, and personality clashes that might never surface in public, yet shape every interaction on and off the court. Every minor incident, whether a missed assignment or a heated exchange in practice, is now viewed through the lens of suspicion as fans and insiders try to connect the dots. Meanwhile, the pressure to maintain composure, both for the team and Mazzulla himself, adds another layer to the narrative. Every press conference becomes a potential minefield, where questions are loaded and answers are analyzed for hidden meaning. In a league where mental toughness is as critical as physical skill, this internal turbulence could prove decisive in tight playoff scenarios, where focus and unity often determine the difference between victory and defeat. As the rumor gains momentum, it begins to take on a life of its own. Analysts craft theories, fans speculate online, and rival teams quietly note the potential advantage. Mazzulla's admission, intentional or not, has created a suspenseful subplot within the Celtics campaign, one that could dominate headlines for weeks. The situation is further complicated by the lack of clarity. No names, no incident specified, only a vague but powerful accusation that has set imaginations racing. Sports writers are already spinning articles about locker room toxicity, player influence, and the psychology of team dynamics, while fans debate the possible implications on forums, Twitter threads, and comment sections. The drama now extends beyond Boston. The league is watching, the media is speculating, and the story grows with every passing day. What started as a single statement has evolved into a multi-layered narrative, rich with intrigue, uncertainty, and suspense. And as the season continues, everyone will be watching closely, trying to discern whether this player's influence can be corrected, mitigated, or whether it will leave a lasting mark on the Celtics' pursuit of glory. The speculation surrounding the Celtics' locker room now feels like an all-consuming saga, one where every whisper is magnified and every glance is scrutinized. As the season progresses, the pressure on Joe Mazzulla to address this contaminating influence intensifies, yet he remains guarded, giving little more than cryptic hints that leave fans desperate for answers. In Boston, discussions about team dynamics have taken on a feverish intensity. Fans debate not only who might be causing disruption, but also how this affects the team's championship ambitions. Some suggest it could be a clash between seasoned veterans and emerging talent, a generational divide that manifests in subtle power struggles. Others propose that it may be less about individual skill and more about attitude, influence, and off-court behavior. The rumor mill thrives on ambiguity, and in this case, the lack of specifics is precisely what fuels endless speculation. Analysts, commentators, and former players weigh in publicly, dissecting past games and team interactions for signs of friction. Every overtime meltdown, every missed defensive rotation, Every quiet argument in the background is suddenly elevated to a piece of evidence in a larger, invisible puzzle. In essence, the Celtics season is transformed into a narrative not just about basketball, but about internal politics, psychological resilience, and a fragile balance between personal ambition and collective success. Fans on social media have created intricate theories, mapping relationships between players and interpreting body language in ways that would rival a detective novel. Some point to subtle snubs during post-game celebrations, others to a player's reluctance to engage in team rituals or conversations. The media amplifies these observations, turning minor actions into dramatic signifiers of deeper tension. Even casual observers are swept into the frenzy, analyzing interviews frame by frame, comparing tone, inflection, and phrasing for clues. Meanwhile, the Celtics organization walks a tightrope, knowing that public acknowledgement of internal conflict could destabilize morale, yet silence risks letting rumors dominate the narrative. Coaches, trainers, and veteran players must navigate this minefield delicately, attempting to guide the team through a season that now feels as much about psychology as it does about points and rebounds. The question looms large. Will the player in question rise to the challenge and realign with the team's goals, or will the dissonance grow into something that affects the Celtics' playoff trajectory? In a league where unity often determines championship success, even a single personality misalignment can ripple outward in unpredictable ways, making Mazzulla's warning all the more chilling. Behind the scenes, insiders whisper about tension during practice sessions, moments of subtle rebellion or disengagement that may have gone unnoticed by casual fans but caught the eyes of staff. Mazzulla is said to be working tirelessly to manage the team's focus, attempting to channel frustration into performance rather than discord. Yet the mere suggestion of contamination spreads like wildfire, leaving players hyper-aware that every misstep might be interpreted as evidence against them. Even the most disciplined athletes are human, and navigating both the court's pressures and the weight of rumor can be daunting. Meanwhile, sports psychologists and team leaders reportedly hold private conversations, emphasizing communication, shared goals, and accountability. The tension is not just about wins and losses. It's about trust, culture, and the intangible chemistry that defines a championship-caliber team. Observers speculate that if unresolved, this internal friction could manifest during high-pressure playoff games, where every decision, reaction, and moment of hesitation can swing outcomes dramatically. In this sense, the Celtics' internal narrative now mirrors a high-stakes drama, with psychological resilience and leadership under intense scrutiny, and with the shadow of the contaminating player looming over every team interaction. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. As debates rage, rival teams quietly monitor Boston, sensing both opportunity and caution. In the NBA, awareness of another team's internal struggles can provide an edge, yet is also a delicate dance. Overconfidence or misreading the situation can lead to missed opportunities. Analysts speculate whether opposing coaches adjust strategies to exploit perceived disunity or maintain a focus on their own gameplay. Meanwhile, Boston fans oscillate between defensive loyalty and anxious curiosity, some defending every player publicly while privately questioning the stability of their roster. The phrase contaminating the team has taken on a near-mythical quality, its vagueness allowing imagination to fill in the blanks. The tension even permeates commentary during broadcasts, where every reaction shot, every sideline interaction, and every post-game handshake is examined through the lens of suspicion. The Celtics, historically resilient and disciplined, are being tested not only for their athletic ability, but for their cohesion under pressure. With the playoffs looming, the question is whether the team can unify despite the undercurrent of distrust, or whether this internal friction will become a decisive factor that reshapes their postseason ambitions. Speculation about trades, bench adjustments, and internal consequences intensifies as fans and insiders attempt to predict Mazzulla's next moves. Every practice, press conference, and game becomes a stage for observation and judgment, where subtle shifts in behavior are analyzed as potential evidence of resolution or escalation. There's talk about leadership roles, informal hierarchies, and whether the contaminating influence is a temporary issue or a symptom of deeper structural tension. Commentators suggest that this drama, if mishandled, could affect team identity, fan confidence, and even the trajectory of player careers. The psychological stakes are enormous. Players must balance performance expectations with the need to navigate a rumor-laden environment. Observers note that in professional sports, intangible dynamics like trust, respect, and morale are often just as critical as talent, making the situation particularly precarious. Mazzulla's leadership, strategic vision, and conflict management now carry heightened importance, as any misstep could exacerbate tensions and influence outcomes in ways that extend far beyond the scoreboard. Meanwhile, fans continue to speculate and debate, creating an ecosystem where rumor, fact, and interpretation blur into a compelling narrative that transcends the sport itself. Every sideline exchange, interview quote, and game highlight becomes fodder for discussion, analysis, and theory. Analysts create intricate breakdowns, fans create detailed social media threads, and the rumor grows, feeding on itself with each passing day. The Celtics locker room has become a theater of suspense, where the interplay of personality, leadership, and talent is under constant public scrutiny. Whether the contaminating influence is ultimately identified, corrected, or remains shrouded in mystery, the story has already left its mark on the season. Boston and the wider NBA community now watches not just a basketball team, but a psychological drama unfold, where every pass, every point, and every interaction carries weight far beyond the game itself. As the season advances, all eyes remain fixed on how the Celtics will navigate this unseen but deeply felt turbulence, a story that has captivated fans and analysts alike. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.